Welcome to our daily reflection for this Sunday, November 24th, the Solemnity of Christ the King. And so today we celebrate Jesus' universal kingship. And this is the end of the liturgical year. So this feast, this Sunday, we celebrate the end of the liturgical calendar by saying that at the end of time, Christ will come back in his second coming, and he will come as King, victor, and conquer over sin and death. And he will reign forever and ever and establish his kingdom in its fullness and in its glory and with peace and justice. And so this is a great solemnity as we are reminded that in the end, right now, Christ hasn't come back again in the second coming. And so the world is run by all kinds of brokenness and, by a sinful humanity and in different disparate things, sometimes under despots, sometimes under loose democracies, but all imperfect. And yet the perfect is going to come. And so we are reminded of this to give us hope and to show us also to be sober, that, we will have to give account to Jesus Christ. There will be a final and last judgment, and we want to be faithful to that King who will be our judge. And that's important. And what we see in the readings today of Daniel chapter 7 is a great prophecy that the Son of Man, Jesus, will be given all dominion, power, glory, authority by the Ancient of Days, by God. And his kingdom will have no end, and he will reign forever. And so we hear that great prophecy, that great promise. And then in the Psalm reading, we have Psalm 93, which again celebrates that God will reign as King over all the earth and over all nations. So that's fitting. And then we have the second reading, which talks about Jesus in the book of Revelation. And it promises that he will come a second time. So it's foreshadowing and telling about his second coming in glory, and that he is a faithful witness. And then the gospel reading from John chapter 18, Jesus on trial at the end of his earthly life, at the end of the first coming. And Pilate asks him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" And Jesus says, "Do you say this of your own accord? Or have others told you?" And then, Jesus says that his kingdom is not of this world, it's not from this world, but it will be over this world, and it will come again. And his kingdom doesn't have its origin in the world, but it will claim this world. And that's an important distinction. And then he talks about how he came to bear witness, to give testimony to the truth. It's interesting, isn't it, that in Jesus' final trial, Pilate, who says, "What is truth?" with kind of a cynicism. And that is so true of broken humanity and the world. The world despairs of the truth because it despairs of knowing God. Whereas those who know God want to bear witness to the truth. And it's so important that Jesus gives witness in the end. And he sees that his mission is to bear testimony to the truth. And those who heed his voice, the voice of God, will bear witness to the truth. And so he says, everyone who belongs to the truth hears and heeds my voice. And so, my friends, it's so important in the final great struggle in the world to hold to the truth, because that will be the line of demarcation between the world and the kingdom of Christ. Those who belong to God and those who belong to the devil. The devil is the father of lies. Jesus is he who comes to bear witness to the truth. And it will be the truth and falsehood that is the fault line between the wicked and the righteous. And so let us hold to and bear witness unflinchingly and be unafraid and unapologetic of witnessing to the truth, whether it's the truth of the unborn, the truth of what is right and wrong, the truth of gender, the truth of God's existence. Let us bear witness to the truth, that we may be judged faithful followers of Christ the King. And so today the church celebrates that Christ is the King, and it reminds us that his kingdom is where the truth is, and those who heed the truth are those faithful subjects of that kingdom that will never perish and that will last forever. Let us be part of that kingdom, because that's where peace and righteousness reign. May the Lord bless and keep you in his truth. God bless.
This daily reflection is brought to you thanks to the generous support of the Mission Circle. Join the Mission Circle to help Catholics worldwide understand, live, and share their faith. Sign up at missioncircle.org today.